you don't have practice taking on challenges, and we're all at different levels in our life. If we don't take on the challenges and let them get the best of us and push us in a downward spiral, an inward spiral, the reverse spiral of life force, we must stop it. We have to find a way to stop if it's overwhelm, or if it's anxiety, or if it's stress, or even depression. And that's a tough one, but you gotta get out of it. You gotta break loose. You have to break, breathe, and bond anew, bond anew. That's with, well, I know where I am. I know where I've been for the last month, 2 months, 3 months. Things aren't changing. I'm not changing. Are things not changing? Things are changing all the time. And if I'm not changing, that looks like externally things aren't changing. When we change, the things around us change. That is a pretty, that's at the core of change. But a lot of people don't understand that we got to change the way we see things, the way we view things. In other words, we'll hear people say, "Oh, that figures. Here we go again. Another beat me down moment." Well, that's just my luck. Now you can tell by my tone that luck is not kind of luck that is lifting us up. So, what kind, I mean, this is at the core. What kind of luck do you want? You don't have to call it luck, but what is your intention? I would call it luck because I think we create our own luck. We predict our own future. And there is the unknown. There's the no, it's known, but it's unknown. So there's constant change and flux, especially now. And now is the opportunity, like probably of all history. We're in a moment of time, regardless of what it looks like. It's exciting times, right? Yeah, like the price of gas is going up, cost of things are going up. Sometimes things aren't there for you to use that you've always had. That's always made your life like just like a mindless life. Like no problem. Everything's handed to me. I can walk into any store. Everything's there all the time. In other words, we haven't had a rough time, and we're in it appears like we may be having a bumpy time. So you don't fold in. You've got to spiral up because that's life force at its finest. If you go inward, the spring just gets so tight, and the spring can snap, right? We don't want to do that. We want it to be outwards, and our growth outwards, always looking outwards. So back to the luck. I have spent a long time with my mindset, decades of my mindset, because I don't like pain. I do not like feeling uncomfortable. I don't know about you, but some people like to wallow in the stuff like, oh man, and then they got to go share all this crap with people. And then, they enjoy that. That's a drama. Some people enjoy drama and pain, and oh, you wouldn't believe what happened. Yeah, I probably would. I mean, we all have stuff happen, and excuse me, most importantly, we all create stuff. So I'm asking here, what are you going to create? Or what are you creating? Please put in the comments. And down here, there's a little bell. You've heard about this bell. You want to hit that bell. It's kind of a silent bell, but it's a very important bell. It's like an alarm bell. When you subscribe, you'll get, and then turn on your messaging so that when something cool is happening, I and probably a few other people are going to help you along the journey and the journey to freedom. And what does freedom mean to you? I don't really know, but stick with me because you have to define your own freedom. And my freedom, I see people bad mouthing 9 to 5 jobs, and I think actually, if you really like a 9 to 5 job, you should do it. People are excited. They have friends and they build new relationships and they're working with a company that's going someplace, doing something, and that is exciting. But on the other hand, if that has passed and that has become ho hum and it wasn't what you thought it was going to be, and you've hit roadblocks or you just didn't, you thought, wow, look, I could do this, I could do that, I could grow with the company and go to this level and this level, but somebody else came in and got that somebody else, and I'm still here. And you don't want to be now. What once was a joy and a pleasure is no longer a joy and a pleasure. That exact same thing happened to me on merchant ships. I worked as a first engineering officer running big cargo ships, the ones that are all anchored off Los Angeles and Long Beach. I used to ship out of there. I used to work on those ships. Now you know what they look like. Those were my babies. And tankers, oil tankers, I worked on container ships, frozen food, bulk food, old ships before the containers, as they used to say, when the men were made out of iron and the ships were made out of wood. That's probably a no-no today for some people. Like there is no difference, but in my book, there is definitely a difference. And so I just go forward with doing what I do. And this is the purpose of this video, for you to go forward and do what you did. So they changed the way the ship was powered. I was an engineer on board. I was making 6 figures, working 6 months, taking 6 months off a year, had full optical, medical, dental coverage. I could stay at Siemens officers clubs around the world for free. Matter of fact, I went to Hong Kong. When I first got to Asia, I went to Hong Kong on a ship, and I'm in the Siemens club next to some really fine 5-star hotel in downtown Kowloon. And there's a little park out there, and they're doing Tai Chi and stuff. This is back in the 80s. And I'm like, man, I like the vibe here. This is cool. And it was old Hong Kong. Oh, man, old Hong Kong. You could walk into a door and it would go back 100 yards filled with cool stuff to buy. But today it's all like, it's all predictable and sanitized. Not all of it, but so I went back and I stayed at this place for $9 a night next to the Sheraton, like on almost on the harbor and so the benefits were huge. But guess what? I stopped having fun after, like, in the 90s. The fun started going away because it was a motor ship now, not a steamship. The challenge of thermodynamics and operating the steam water flow cycle, which doesn't mean anything to some people, but it did to me. It was fascinating because it was challenging and there was so much going on that you had to watch. I mean, it's like a spaceship, okay? But it's a ship, a sea ship. And you're in a soundproofed, air-conditioned control room like the USS Enterprise, flying around in space, but I'm flying around at a slow speed, at God's speed, across the oceans. And I'll tell you what, I got a lot of quiet time. I learned a lot, but I quit because it wasn't fun any longer. It wasn't fun, exciting. It turned boring and it became almost like a job. Like I became a mechanic, and that wasn't my thing. It is something for some people, and I understand why it is. Like to make things happen, turn and fix and repair things, but I didn't. I had plenty to do other than clean a big giant diesel engine. Good money. I quit. I would go to the Philippines and spend time and have a great time, go out. All this food was delivered to the ship, these grilled shrimp and lobster, and we had a feast living after the work. I mean, just travel around the world. I quit. My question was when I quit, how can I travel and make money and still be free, be independent, and do it my way on the highway of the sky, the sea, and the roads. So now, before I only did it on the sea, and I used to see planes flying. And if you've crossed the Pacific on a ship at 20 knots or 18 knots, the time changes every hour. And after 9 hours or 9 days, you're all screwed up. You're eating, you're supposed to be sleeping, you're inside out. It's a painful jet lag that extended out. And I can still feel the haze after day 7 or 8. It's like this getting a little old. But it was really rewarding. You go the other way, it would like charge you up. So when you go from the east to from the west to the east, that was the painful part. When you go from the east to the west, then it was a joy and a pleasure. 25-hour days going one way, 24-hour days going another. I mean, it was really, it was nothing normal or usual about it, bouncing around the sea. I quit. I asked the question. Again, I'm going to repeat this because it's important that you ask yourself the question. What is important to you? What do you want out of life? What do you really want? Not what they want, not what people are telling you here that you want. Like what I want is not maybe what you want, but you've got to choose that. Then you got to take the action. Seems simple. A lot of people talking about it. How many people are actually getting up and living into their life of freedom? That means to me the journey, whatever that journey, if it's a 9 to 5 journey and you're living that, that's cool. And you're loving it. And it is uplifting and it's charging or whatever it is, 8 to 12, I don't know, but any place in a boxy hours that you got to show up then and you leave then, that's structured and that stuff. So that doesn't matter. But what matters is if you love that, great. But if you don't, or you're doing something else, like I didn't have 9 to 5, I didn't like it. I had a lot of freedom, a lot of benefits. I quit. Then before I quit, though, I said, what? What do I want to do? It was really easy for me. I said, I want to continue traveling and making money while I travel. So I opened 4 stores in Key West, Florida. That anchored me. It did the opposite. But I did go and buy things overseas. Ships they cut up into pieces and they turned into furniture I put into a store. Wasn't jewelry. And I realized I got anchored and I had to make another change. And then a guy came into my store. He sold me some jewelry. He left. He was on the road going where he wanted to, when he wanted to. And pretty much like a snowbird, follow the tourist and make money. So this life of freedom that awaits you, I have a whole program of training that I've done when I started my business in 1987, but I didn't quit the merchant ships until I didn't like retire from the ships until 93. And I had a nice little vacation check and all that, and I made my business go. So I said, how can I travel and make money? And I looked at my hands when I said that. I said, oh my God, I could go learn about gemstones, and I could go to the mines and buy the gemstones, put them in my pocket, and then go to New York, go to the coast, go to other jewelers and sell the stones. And that was in 1989, and it didn't work. I did go to school in Bangkok and became a gemologist here. I went to Belgium and studied diamonds. I went to GIA and studied diamonds there, and I graduated as a graduate gemologist, and even in Great Britain, because I thought, well, let me go in, I'll go full in, and I love to learn. I don't know about you, I love to learn, so I learned everything I could. And what I found out is everything I learned, I didn't need to travel, but it was fascinating things to learn. And now I know where gemstones come from. Now I can look at some things. People can't BS me. I went into a diamond store and a jewelry store, and they're advertising on we're the best. This is in Louisville, Kentucky. And I called them on it. They go, oh, well, we have a couple of places that check our diamonds. And this store here, well, they said, the friends of the owner, they said, well, this is what this diamond is. I go, seriously? And she smirks at me. She goes, yeah, it's graded up 3 times. They're making a $2,000. They're screwing you for $2,000 because they're not telling you the truth. I called them on it, and all they did was laugh. And they had a lot of money that they spend on advertising to mislead people into their store in Louisville, Kentucky. My wife Pam was with me. And what I learned, because I went to those 4 schools, institutes, and actually I was very high. I was invited to Washington, D.C. from GIA because I had like the highest marks and scores because I was so engaged. I love color and physics, and gemstones are about color and physics. So when you go in and you look, you realize and you really learn and you see it. And that color between a white diamond and a yellow diamond pops out to me, even though it's subtle. And the reflection of the diamond and the way it's cut. I mean, all these things lined up. And I had been trained so many times. It's like almost a mechanical thing. You like, boom, like a laser checking in that. And so I look at those people and I go, well, that's not the way I live. I live pretty congruent. Yeah, I don't have that money they have because I'm not out screwing people. And I'm not saying you got to screw people to make money. That's not the case at all. I'm just saying that particular store did. I'm not saying everyone else does. I'm just saying that's what I experienced, but I learned. So because if I didn't have that training, it took me a lot of time, effort, and everything. But what I'm offering here now is to help people live into a freedom if you're not living there. It's really simple. You want more fun in your life? Choose something that you love to do. So there are fairs, festivals, and events all across the country. You can go meet people face to face, feel the energy. Geez, get offline for a little bit and feel the energy. I see another thing. Well, we're building AI so that we can all watch each other from a little box, have no energy in life, but maybe you have energy outside. But if you're living in the city, you got nothing but cement, maybe a few plants inside. But me, I like to touch the earth. I like to get grounded. I like to feel the breeze in my face and feel life and sunshine. And you get the vitamin D and build your immunity system while you're making money traveling from fair to fair outside, meeting new people that are excited about life, charging you up. We need each other to charge our batteries, regardless how long I've spent in the middle of the ocean alone, when I come back to port, the people, it's a charge, it's an energy. There's magic in both worlds. I mean, I spent years where there's nothing, but there's everything I learned in the moment, in the silence, with the movement. I call it the womb of Mother Nature, the sea, because it's one thing to go to a retreat and and meditate and sit flat, but the sea covers over 70% of the earth. And what does that mean? That means it's probably pretty important, isn't it? We don't treat it as important in a lot of cases. So many people trash it. They think, oh, it'll blow away, but it goes someplace. So, a little side note, don't throw your trash in the sea, especially plastic. So, back to the magic of the sea. As you move with Mother Nature on a 700-foot piece of steel through the sea, you are rocking and rolling. You can be in a smaller boat too, but it's faster moving. Like when you ride on a big ship on the sea, it's like riding on the back of a whale. And a whale, independent through the sea, just flows with the sea. And obviously is very connected and you would guess loves the sea, right? How deep do I need to go on this thing? It's my common sense applied here that just says, wow, why do people want to go out on the sea? Why? They want to go on a cruise. It's fun and it's exciting, and I got paid for it. I got all my meals and everything, but I quit and I did something better. So I could go on any ship I wanted later on, my terms, my stateroom, wherever, and I would pay for it, but I would be doing something that I enjoyed to create the capital, to create the money to do what I really love to do. I can say, oh, well, I'll do that later. It's like when I started my jewelry company, I loved the sea. I gave up the sea to make my jewelry company work, but I didn't give up going to the edge of the sea because that's where I sold my jewelry in resort areas by the sea, the fresh air, the sunshine. So when it comes to fairs, festivals, and events, you can do that too. You pick of one of our 43 niche markets, like Celtic or New Age jewelry or healing jewelry or kitty cat jewelry or dog jewelry if you love pet shows, animal shows, or horse jewelry. Viking shows, Viking fairs. There's pirate fairs up in Michigan, right? Whatever your passion, wild and crazy motorcycle jewelry, skull jewelry. I mean, it just doesn't end. I got LBGT jewelry, I got recovery jewelry. Because at Peter Stone, we have jewelry with messaging, not shiny bits that everyone else has that makes doing what I do and what I've done and what you can do unique, different, special, standalone. People are looking for better quality. They've had enough crap and junk for a couple of decades now, right? Cheap, cheap, cheap. Now people, they get a little tired of cheap. It starts to fall apart and it's thin and it's lightweight and they want something a little nicer. Oh, I've seen that. They're walking through a fair and a festival. I've seen that. Oh, online to get on their phone. Oh, I've never seen that. Can't even find it online. That's Peter Stone difference. Not only that, every one of our pieces of jewelry has a certificate of authenticity and an assay certificate. We do assays every 3 months minimum, and they're always above 925 sterling silver. So when I made my company, when I do things, I do them really with a lot of heart and soul, and to a fault where I maybe spent more than I thought I was gonna on a project, but it doesn't matter because when you do 100 projects and 5 of them are grand slams, the other 95 don't really matter anymore. They do because you learned, you learned, you learned, you learned. I've been learning for 35 years about the jewelry business. I continue to, and life, most importantly, life. And as I spoke earlier about is the journey of getting the mindset to be able to get up and take action and get up. Well, like, what's the use? Everything's going to hell. No, no, it's not. You look back through history. If you lived during World War II in Germany or in England, the UK, the great leader Churchill brought people through. I mean, the house next door blew up. You want tough? That's tough. I mean, I can't imagine, because I'm eternally grateful that I have never had to live that way. And after traveling 101 countries, I've seen a lot of pain. Calcutta, I went there to go on a journey, but they wouldn't let me go because I couldn't get the permit and the pass to go to this area. And I just found out 6 months ago why they didn't want me to go to that part of India, because they eat people there. I just learned. But they stopped that about 7 or 8 years ago. But I wanted to go there in 1990. And so that's why I couldn't get a permit. They would never tell you why you can't go to this tribal area in India, in the northeast of India. And so I ended up in Calcutta, and I did a photo essay of Calcutta. And I learned people slept on the street, defecated on the street. And these kids, they give them some money to live and help them out. And they're just so poor. I mean, just talk about pain. And so I talk about this because if you think you got it tough, it's only here. You don't really know unless you've been there and you saw it. And there's not a lot of people. Mother Teresa lived there and helped those people. And I was there. I watched the movie, The City of, what is it? Her book, The City of Angels. No, not it. The City of Love. Anyway, it was the book. Oh gosh, I can't remember it. And the book and the movie, oh my God, just two different things. So if you walk through there and experienced it, just trying to find a clean place to eat was a challenge that you would trust. And so please focus on what you got, not what you don't have, not what's changing. Focus on what can you do with the change. Find something, little or big, you can be grateful about. And it's hard sometimes. I know, because I spent really 30 years just trying to get my head from stop spinning, like, and catch up with myself. I partied so hard. What a mess. What a mess. A total mess. And I still have to forgive myself today for some of the things. Hey, look, I'm alive. I'm feeling good. And I'm healthy. And I'm free. And you can be too if you're not. But you just got to work at it. You got to say, I don't want the pain. I expect the best to happen. And it does. It's a hard thing, isn't it? Especially when you're coming from, oh, well, that figures. Here we go again. Another hit over the head. Well, that figures. It always happens to me. You know why? Because if you say that, that's why. Because you vibrated it out in the universe. Why not just say, I'm going to get some parking today, where it's going to be much easier today than it was 2 years ago. But you get what you need. You need to get on the bus. Boom. You're thinking, oh, where's it going to come? I was in an airport walking down 2 different flights late at night in the rain. Boom. I'm thinking the worst thoughts. Like, oh my God, I got to sit in the cold. I'm tired. I got my bags. I got to wait for I was so tired. I was putting this stuff in my head and it didn't exist. But because I have practiced and practiced and I live into expect the best to happen and it will, then it does. I just keep blowing my mind day every day, really. The little things that 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 just present themselves as needed, as fitting right into the flow of life. Why? Because I worked really hard to do that and structured my life. I'm more of the guy on the journey. Yes, I want to make money. I've made plenty of money, many millions. That's great. And I don't know, I've driven over 300 different kinds of cars, or going to over 100 countries. Right? I'm always renting cars, all kinds of cool cars. One I rented in England, then I ended up buying that model, a Mondeo. What a sneak! That was like a Jaguar in an estate wagon. Oh my God, 6-speed diesel, so much fun. So I went out when I put in my basket after I went to Calcutta. I came back and I rode on a bus for 18 hours down uh, to the airport in Bangladesh to fly back here. And because I went up to Sikkim, is what I went up into into the Alps, and I took this bus, and I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and it was wooden seats, and it rode all night, like 18 hours, hardwood, and I said, never again. I came back to Thailand, and I got a basket out, and I had all these cool luxury magazines. I started cutting pictures out, making my dream, and I didn't put it on the wall. I had some stuff on the wall, but I put it in a basket. And one of those things was a Land Rover, because I said, the next time I go on this journey, it will be in a Land Rover. And that's what I did. And then I went back to work, and I grew. I listened to a course, and that changed my whole life. And that's what I'm offering you here with the simplicity of I've learned from a lot of masters, and I just taken and filtered because my life is not money focused. I love the money, what it does, but I don't love the money. You see this on the back of the wall here in my office in my home, and this is a prosperity poster that says we have to help others, and we have to share our experiences, and we have to empower others to help them make money and make the world, make the people that you touch more prosperous by giving, not by taking. I got to take the money to run my business, but it's not all about, oh, give me, now I can't wait. No, it's about the journey. It's about helping you get on your journey, because I've done it. I'm here. I'm really living. I mean, if I told you how I was living, you wouldn't believe it. But it's fine. I'm not going to go there because everybody lives their own life in their best way. But if you can tell from the smile on my face, I am very grateful for my life because I've done these things. I made a choice. No, I didn't have to go work for a big corporation. No, I didn't have to get a master's degree. I have a chief engineer's license, engineering officer's license to operate any size ship that's sitting out there in LA Harbor. That's what I used to do. So I got all that stuff. Adventure. And you don't have to do that, but I'm just saying, I can teach you. It doesn't have to be jewelry, but that's what I do. I do jewelry. Why did I pick jewelry? When I asked the question, how could I travel? Well, first I picked gemstones. It failed. Then I asked, could could I travel and make money and do it, like in an easy way, in a fun way, without having a lot of burden and like being stuck on. I mean, I didn't even have a notebook computer at the time. Computers did not exist hardly at the time. They just were beginning, okay, to be no cell phones. But I just did it, just do it. And it was more interesting without the phone in the hand. I'll just tell you that. Much more rich because you had to read signs in a foreign language. You had to learn stuff. It wasn't all there learned for you, which is a huge benefit for you today. So I picked jewelry. And after I did all that travel, I came back and I made more jewelry. And it's allowed me to travel where I want, when I want, and have variety and creativity and help others. How do I help others? Well, people all through the years, how I started my Celtic jewelry line. One guy from uh, Australia and one guy from Ireland, they met at my office home factory in 1992. And they both brought a Celtic ring. And they said, "Can you make these?" And it was the start of the Peter Stone Celtic Empire because I didn't look at the profit margins. I always looked at the profit margins, but that wasn't the focus. What I looked at was the quality because I could go up and down the streets of Thailand, of Bangkok, up to Chiang Mai, all over the place and buy this crappy jewelry. It was horrible. I did it for 4.5 years. And it really boiled down to this. Well, Peter, if you want it done right, you just do it yourself. Oh, man. Like, I'm in a foreign country with a script that's not even like English. The banking system is totally different. The culture is totally different. And I knew nothing of jewelry. And I said, I'm doing it. And this guy who had been in the jewelry business for 10 years goes, "Peter, do you know what you're getting into? Are you crazy?" Serious, this guy, smart business guy, trading in sterling silver jewelry with some big companies for a long time. He says, "You know how hard that is?" I go, "I don't. I have no idea, but I'm doing it." And I did it. Okay. I did it. You're welcome to come to the front door of Peter Stone Jewelry Thailand any day. They just opened up Thailand on the 1st of November. Everyone is welcome, at least from 47 countries. Okay, you're welcome here. And it's an amazing country. People are amazing. That's why they call it Amazing Thailand. And of all the places I've traveled, I got to say, from a health standpoint, well, the wind's blowing, beach is not far away. The markets you choose. You want organic, you get organic. You want some chemical laden stuff, you get it. So there's a big choice and there's a lot of smiles. But when the smiles aren't there, I put a smile there. My general manager, used to say, "Peter, why are you always smiling?" I come back after a long trip and I'm smiling. "Hey, how are you doing?" And she's like, and she did have the lines. And she goes like, "Why? Why are you always smiling?" I go, "Well, your country logo, your marketing, your logo is Thailand, the land of smiles. It looks like you taught me well and you still need to learn. So put a smile in your day and lift somebody up. You lift you up." I know I'm driving in my car and I'm like, I plug into some of this stuff and I'm like not feeling good. And I got to go, whoop. I got to go, whoop, wait a minute. I just start smiling to change my physique, my physiology, no matter what. How bad I feel, if I feel really bad, if I let it get to me, I'm just putting that measurement in there, right? If I'm like, this isn't working, that isn't working, then, oh man, they're out of there. There's all this other stuff. I'm like, no, I'm smiling. And my whole day changes instantly. Probably takes a few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I get back on track. And that's what I learned. I learned I can share you little tools that are with huge results that I have learned over the years. It's It's a journey. And I like to call it the Peter Stone jewelry journey, where the success in life is the journey that you live, not the bank account after 30, 40, 50 years, or even after 10 years. It's great. Are you, did you enjoy making those 10 years worth of money? And now that you got it, do you know what you're going to do with it? Is it fulfilling, satisfying? That's why I asked the question up front. What am I going to do to travel, meet more people, continue to have fun, and experience all the cool food in the world right in the country? With the water, with the resources that was grown in that country for most cases when I did it. I still travel, but so many things are important. And I just got to say, it's rewarding. Click on the link and join me. Join. I've got a 10 video training that is going to help you in a lot of different areas. You know, we hear, like, if I pick up a book and I read it once, I've got a cassette tape that I've listened to over 300 times. One cassette. And it broke. And it worked in my Land Rover. And it broke. And I got another one. And another one. And they broke. And I still have two. Now I have a backup. And I have a cassette player because I want to hear that and feel the energy of that. But now I can use MP3, MP4, iTunes. I can find that. A little difficult because people want to fill in and give you all this stuff, too much stuff. So this one thing I listen to is like, you do the work, then expect the universe to do the rest. You let go and then expect the best to happen. And it will, because you said it will. You put the vibration out there. The universe gives you back what you're doing. So you got to smile and feel good, because if you're feeling bad, you get more feeling bad and downward spiral. So you've got to start the momentum in the upward direction. Don't give up, and plug in and move yourself up, because there's sunshine and there's an exciting day. I mean, we just got through the rainy season here in Thailand. I'm like, oh man, low pressure rain. And when the sun comes out, man, boom, I'm up like 5 levels and the wind is blowing. And I'm like, I didn't know how much was contained inside, like a kangaroo with a pouch of food, how much value and energy I had built up because of the training and the little things that I refined. Why? There's tons of books out there. You can read. It's a lot of the same messages. So one day I'm the self-help book after, I don't know, who knows how many self-help books I read. I don't know, hundreds probably. And I'm sitting in my home in Maryland. I'm up in my office upstairs. And I'm like, holy crap, one more person pulling me backwards. Because in the self-help books, they remind you how bad things are, because they want to give you the solution and make you feel better, which, okay, it's a cookie cutter thing. But I mean, and it works and it helps at the beginning. But then you don't want to hear that stuff anymore. I'm tired. Yeah, I know all about that pain. Don't you get it? I want to focus on solution. Stop telling me about the past. Let's get moving, full ahead, forward. I know about the pain of the past. I know about the crap in my life. I know all that stuff. Let's just cut the anchors and leave it there and build anew. Let's create anew. Change your languaging. I have videos that call Words That Matter. I talk about the words, how they're connected, like break, breathe, bond. Like you need, if you're in one of these states, you need to break I have a piece of jewelry. I put words on it to remind me what I want to focus on. And then I break out of that situation. I have a ring. It's not here. I don't know where it is. It doesn't matter. The ring, courage, focus, passion, right? I put that on. I made that in 2005. I put it on. Boom. It's like my generator of energy. I know inside that Superman ring or Superwoman ring, there is a message, and I'm living into it. When I put it on in the morning, boom, I'm living into it. And I had to use it every day for a long time to remember when I looked at that ring. I had to focus because I was all over the place with all the cool stuff that's offered online, offline, all the cool things you can do in the world. I have a crazy entrepreneurial mindset, and I didn't know where one project and then another. That was a big fault of mine. So I've been working on focus for 15 years. So I can stay on a project because I have so many ideas. I want to do them like all. And I got a guy that works with me that like wants to do the same stuff. I got to say, look, I know all about this. It'll be a long time. We got to work on one project. We got so much cool stuff to do. But let's do a project or two at a time. So the project that we have been working on for you is the Total Life Freedom Project. Launches very soon. You got to pay attention. We had a couple of bumps in the road. We thought that October, as it goes, move it up. It's fine because we want it right for you. And we're refining this and doing a launch really soon so that you can have more fun, face to face friends, and earn like a bad day is probably $500. And you get fit because you're moving if you go to fairs, festivals, and events, or you're selling jewelry wherever you sell it. You don't want to sit and look at your computer all day. If you do, well, that's okay. It doesn't fit my mindset. I need to get up and move. We need sunshine. We need God's gifts. We need the gifts of the universe. The wind, go just listen to the wind blow through your ears while you ride the bike. Oh my God, it's like puts me in a meditative state. And I hope it does you too. So find your buttons, focus on your buttons, and raise your energy. And if you need a piece of jewelry to remind you, a bracelet, actually, I do have them. I have some old recycled plastic bag, and then this has been sitting in the drawer for a bit. So, and I can this is the thing about real silver. You can take any piece of cloth, good jeans work. Look at that, instantly buffed up. That is the symbol of a nice piece of jewelry. I know it's very reflective because it's so shiny, but the words are vibrant. Like live a vibrant life, be vibrant, get vibrant. And that's what I need. I need to remain in my vibrant energy state and focus. The focus is in the middle word. I have to focus on discipline and having vibrant energy. I have to discipline myself. You would think after all these years, I'd be totally disciplined and everything would be perfectly planned out and everything. BS. Life is an adventure. And your best plans, I'll tell you your best laid out plans. I like the words flow, flow, flow. Your best laid out plans always have a grenade or something gets in there. But that's okay. You find the seed of opportunity within it, and it's a gift when you look at it that way to take you even higher, not to say, oh, that's a stop. Why did this happen? It happened for a good reason. That's why it happened. Reasons I don't know about, reasons I don't really need to know about, reasons that are always good. God's delays are not God's denials, or the universe's setbacks are for us to come back and get a bigger vision of what it is that we're doing. You get tripped up, sometimes people on their health. I just got to laugh. Sadly, I laugh. Oh man, like I'm just getting in my 40s or early 50s and or maybe even 30s. They're like, oh man, my doctor says I got to start. Really? No, you're gonna wait till you're 50 or 60, and now you're gonna start to try to fix the damage of 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Why don't you just do it? Because you know you're supposed to do it. And find that's another, never mind. I'm doing the you want to come and visit. Stepping Up and Stepping Out is another program that I do. Stepping up, stepping out, making 2021 your best year yet. When do I do it? On the new moon and the full moon. The natural alarms, the natural reminders, all online. Big full moon. It's the switch. Am I paying attention to the things that I want in my life? The things, the health, the wealth, the fitness, the friends, the family, the better life, a better me, feeling the best I can be, the better you, feeling the best you can do. I I'm just going to stop there because when I just talk, no, I'm not. I'm going to talk about the big shopping carts, these giant shopping carts. Sometimes I've gone into Walmart to get some organic spinach and some organic apples. And I'm standing there looking at this checkout. And these two people, I feel so bad. I mean, they're like triple size and they've got all this food. I mean, it's like gigantic. And then I mean they're only in their 30s or 40s. I don't know what they think, like, well now, maybe I should change something. I measure my vitals. Well, I do it quite often because I like to see how my actions make me give me energy. So I suggest just pay attention. Come to our stepping up, stepping out. I'll talk about that stuff. I'm not going to talk about it here. I've gone too long, but all these things are important. And I want really for you, I really care about you. I don't know you, but I do know what I do know. I see people up and down the street. I see people online. I I know they're like in a lot of pain and they're like cashiers and stuff. Like I want to break the moment. And I say stuff to make them smile. Sometimes stupid stuff. But I try to do my best to make it fit the moment. Hey, is there anything else I can do for you, sir, the bank? And I'm like, yeah, please send me a pizza. It's noontime. Yeah, I wish I could. Like so you gotta hit people, make them smile, lift them up, enjoy the journey. Hop on the Peter Stone journey. Follow us here, subscribe, and please go to peterstone.com, leave us your email, and we will follow up and get you on the free intro videos so you can there's enough value packed in those videos to guide you into your life. But if you really want to take it and ramp it up and accelerate and make up for some of the years that you lost. I mean, I know I did. It was 12 years, but a lot of them were fun when I was partying and doing what I love to do, or at the time. But I had to pay a big price for that. And please accelerate it. I'm going to make it shortcut, a pleasant journey lies ahead. No matter what the moment is, work on the moment. This is Peter Stone saying, lift it up, flow, 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 and expect the best to happen right now, today, in your life. I'll see you.